Hello, my name's Derek. I'm a massage therapist, and I want to share a few things with you today that are going to help take your massage to the next level. Let's keep things simple. We'll use supplies we can find around the house and techniques that feel good to receive and to give. These moves can be strung together in any combination, but I think shooting for about a 30-minute time frame would be ideal starting off. A good place to start would be about 15 minutes on the back, neck, shoulders, and then 15 minutes on the arms, hands, legs, and feet. The best piece of advice I can give you before we even get started, though, is to go slow and not to get stuck on any one thing in particular. Now, let's gather our supplies. Step 1, find a chair. Something simple and sturdy, not going to break, not going to creak, not going to slide around too much. That's what we're going for. You could use a bed, but unless it's really narrow and really tall, which is basically a massage table, it's going to be really challenging to get to a lot of the parts of the body, unless you're having the person spin around all the time, and just use a chair. Step 2, a pillow. At least one pillow. It might be a good idea to have several on hand just so you can get the person comfortable. Everybody's different, every chair is different. So it's a good idea to try and play with different things before you get too far into the massage. The most important thing, though, is that the pillow is firm enough that the person isn't getting smashed into the back of the chair, and more importantly, that it's tall enough that it rises up above the back hard part of the chair. This will allow their head and neck to rest in a comfortable, relaxed position. And finally, you're going to need some kind of oil or lotion. Check to make sure whoever you're working with doesn't have any allergies first of all, and keep in mind that some oils and lotions may stain things that they touch if they happen to get on your pillowcase or a rug, so be mindful of that. Keeping those things in mind, your best bet is going to either be grapeseed oil or coconut oil. I happen to prefer coconut oil. At room temperature, it's more of a solid, which makes it a little easier to work a certain amount into your hands without having a pump-based dispenser. Grapeseed oil will work really well though too, and is a little more hypoallergenic. One more piece of advice. Take a few minutes to set the space. Gather up all the fuzzy, cozy, warm stuff that you might have lying around. Keep it on hand. Get the house smelling nice. Maybe have some essential oils on deck if you've got some handy. Set the lights down a little lower, and find some nice mellow music. The music can be important. It shouldn't be overwhelming or distracting at all, but if you're doing things right, you performing the massage are going to be flowing around to this music quite a little bit. So it's good to have something that you're comfortable with as well without being too distracting. All right, now let's get to the techniques. Let's start off by doing some compressions on the upper back and shoulders. I'm just pressing through with my palms and using my body weight by rocking my hips back and forth to modulate the amount of pressure that's going onto the body. After applying a little bit of lotion and getting some glide built up in the back, you can begin to increase the flow and length of this motion. All the pressure should be coming from your palms via your weight as it shifts back and forth on your feet. The fingers are just gently guiding the hand upwards, keeping it in the trapezius muscle and the rhomboid muscle, generally in between the shoulder blades and the spine itself. Playing around with a lunge stance or a horse riding stance are probably your two best bets and will keep your own back from hurting. Now we're going to work on the neck. Come around to the side of the body and using a C-shaped pinching motion, gently start working the area between the large muscle on either side of the neck and the spine itself. Gently move your hands back and forth, feeling for the occipital ridge at the base of the skull, and then down as low as you can squeeze. Generally, you'll be getting some of the upper traps with this motion as well. Make sure to apply lotion or oil as needed. Now we're going to come around to the scalp. Try and feel for that little ridge at the base of the skull. There's a few little muscles that lie under there, and you can gently rake your fingers back and forth, keeping them on either side of the spine. Now I'm going to come back around to the neck again. All these moves should be linked together in different patterns, depending on the needs of whoever's in the chair. We'll come back down and work that motion in the upper back with the shoulders. Now let's transition to the floor and work on the low and mid back. I'm gently rocking back and forth still through my hips and using a soft open fist to work either side of the spine. Going up and down just to below where the shoulder blades end and just above where you feel the sacrum, tailbone sort of area start to form on the hips. Now let's work the top of the hips. I'm going to brace with one hand, gently squeezing in and out, while the other works in a small circular motion using the fatty meaty part of the forearm. Try and stick to using the softer parts of your forearm and avoid using the elbow if possible. When you're all finished up with the low back, say goodbye and move around to the front of the chair. Now we're going to work the arms and hands. Apply a little bit of lotion, starting up at the top of the deltoid and working down the arm. We're going to be using a similar motion to what we did with the neck earlier, sort of a C-shaped pinching technique. One hand will follow the other, and one will stay on the inside of the arm, working the bicep. The other hand will work down the back side of the arm, getting the tricep and the outside of the forearm. Continue to add lotion and gently work that pinching motion until you get down to the hands. Hold the person's wrist with one hand, while your other hand gently works each finger joint to joint in a kind of milking motion. Make sure to check in on the small little area that lies between the two bones of the lower arm up near the elbow. There's a muscle in there that can get really sore and achy, and most people don't even realize it. Try not to use too much pressure as it can be kind of overwhelming, but you can gently pinch your hand around the person's arm and using your thumb apply just a little bit of pressure, rolling it off as you get closer to the elbow. Roll the hand over so that the palm side is facing up and weave your fingers in between their fingers just like this. You can now use your thumbs, spread the palm apart gently, and get a little bit deeper into some of those spots on the hand that get really achy. Repeat the same steps on the other side. When you're done with the arms, it's time to move down to the legs and feet. The legs and feet are going to be very similar to what we just did on the arms and hands. Start by applying some lotion, working it up and down. Notice my thumbs braced together so that I'm not using too much pressure on either one. I'm also following just along the outside of the bony part of the shin. Once the calves are feeling warmed up, extend the leg and rest the foot on your knee or upper thigh. Apply lotion to the bottom and top side of the foot and work back and forth, up and down the leg. Try and avoid the backside of the knee. It's an endangerment site and doesn't really feel very good to be worked on in the first place. Before you use too much oil, you can get a nice grip on the backside of the heel just above the calcaneal tendon and pull just a slight amount. You can also use both thumbs to gently work the forefoot. A more flattened pinching shape with the hand can be used to squeeze gently and slide up and down the foot, creating kind of a squeezing motion. After everything on that leg and foot is feeling nice and relaxed, move over to the other side and repeat the process. Congrats, friend. You just gave a great massage. I really hope this video helped at least one person's day be that much more chill. Now before you go, I have 2 more moves I wanted to teach you really quick. The first one, I want to ask you to take your fingers kind of braced together and move them up towards that little thumbs up like button. If you could go ahead and just gently press there, that would feel really nice. The other one is a little more complicated, but I want you to take your hands, bring your fingers out just like this, and gently work up towards that subscribe button right there, and just apply a gentle amount of pressure, just a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Ideal. I've been Derek. You've been given a great massage. Bye-bye.